Now I'll bet you some of you are thinking to yourselves, uh-oh, Ron's got his famous green towel out again. Yeah, well, I use this for a couple of main reasons, and mind you, I would have preferred a neutral density gray, but I don't have anything like that. Probably could go to a cloth place and buy some, but anyway, this is what I've got. And it does much the same thing as neutral density gray when it comes to giving me proper exposure for the light meter. Now, the main reasons are, first of all, things don't roll away on me. I can put something round on the cloth and it stays there. But the main reason is because I don't get a reflection from the lights off the top of the table saw. Yeah, if I was to take this cloth away right now, you'd be looking at the reflection of the lights in the ceiling. Now, because I routed out those slots, as you can see, not all that long, I'm not going to have very much room to move this back and forth if I was to drill the hole right in the dead center. So I'm going to keep the hole on the center line, but I think I'm going to move it over about just a third of the way in. And there's something I want to talk about here when it comes to drilling oak. And I'll bet you a lot of you already know what that is. Those of you who have been working with oak, and I'm sure most of you have, you'll know how it is when you're trying to drill a hole. So you wanted to drill a hole and it was supposed to come right there where the oak grain is at its hardest. The bit will inevitably wander off into the soft area, and you can guarantee it's going to do that. Now, on the side, it's not quite as bad. Now, fortunately, I'm going to be coming in from what I call the top, and it's not going to have a tendency to wander one way or the other too badly, at least on most of them. Now, here's one here. You can see where the bit could have a tendency to wander from here into here. So what I'm going to do to play it safe, I'm going to make little dimples in each one of these pieces in the right place. Now another point of interest here. Some of you may have noticed I've got a bit of an owie on my finger. I did not cut myself down here in the workshop. I did that the day before yesterday when I was reinstalling my car warmer back in the car for the winter. Yeah, if you live in Winnipeg, you gotta have one. In yesterday's episode, I was talking about a zero tolerance thingamajig. I couldn't think of the word insert, but a zero tolerance insert. And one of the viewers says, how would you make one? Well, I was just looking at this today, and I was thinking about it, because I said I'll probably talk about it. And I was realizing I need to buy a piece of 1x6 in order to, machine it down, plane it down. And it's too involved to talk about right now. So I'll do a standalone video on how I would make one. And yeah, it'll be just how I would do it. Not how other people would do it and I'm going to copy it. This is how I would make one for myself. So watch for the video. I guess it'll be called the Zero Tolerance Insert. Anyway, let's get back to this. Now I've made some changes here. And before I actually have this the way I'm going to actually use it, I just want to show you something. Well, one of the changes I did was I've got the belts adjusted so that right now the drill press is running at its fastest speed. Probably going to be turning about 3,000 RPM. But I wanted to show you how easy it is to deflect this drill bit here. By the way, this is the one that I'm going to be using for this screw. It's about the right diameter. Anyway, I'll move in a little closer. What I want to show you is how little pressure it takes to deflect this blade. Now, I'm not pressing very hard. So this is why it will wander out of into the soft area of the wood. Now, another thing I can do to help prevent that is I can choke this up all the way as far as it'll go, and just have enough sticking out from the chuck to drill the hole. That helps. There's one more thing I want to show you. Now when the head is all the way out closest to me like this, it's much easier to work with. It's nice and close. I don't have to lean in so far over the table here. However, there will be a little bit of play between here and here if I go like this because of this big distance. So naturally, in order to make it as stiff as possible, you're going to want to have this all the way back. Okay, now it takes a lot more force to move the whatever it is you've got in your chuck. In other words, the chuck is a lot stiffer between here and here. I think you get what I'm saying. Now I was saying that what I could do is choke down on the flutes there and make it shorter, and then it will be stiffer. And that's true, it does. But I'm not sure if the bit is as straight when the jaws are clamped onto the flutes. And also when it's clamped onto the flutes, it can't be good for them. There's a chance that you could damage them if you squeeze it too tight. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in. But it's much stiffer now. Still bends a little, but it's much stiffer than it was. Now remember, I don't want it in the dead center. I want it a little bit towards one end or the other. I think this will be alright. And I don't need to go very deep. Yeah, it's not too bad. Well, are they perfect? No, but I think it'll be alright. And as you can see, I've choked up a bit on the bit. Not maybe as far as I could have gone, but it'll help. And once again, I'll use the vise here just to help steady everything. Okay, 1 down, 13 more to go. Now some of them did turn out better than others. And the odd one, I for some reason I didn't do a very good job with my countersink bit. I don't know why, but generally speaking, the holes are on the center line, which is, the important thing. Now, on the bottom here, where the glue is, some places it's kind of rough. And you notice there's a lot of sharp edges here. In fact, all the edges are sharp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a little bit of sandpaper and I'm going to round over the edges to make it sort of make it like a little toboggan, if you know what I mean. So that when the block is sliding back and forth, if it comes up against something, it'll tend to ride over top of it instead of binding. So that's the next step. I think I'm probably going to leave that till tomorrow now. Thanks for watching.